Good morning. Today is September 30th, last day of the month. Again, as we talked about, if you've watched the other videos or listened to me on the radio, September is historically the worst month of the year for stock performance anyway. But this month so far, we're still up about 3%, although the market is down. We opened down about 150, 160 points on the Dow, still above 15,000, but not by a huge amount. And the market's trying to bounce off that number a little bit, down 130 or so at the moment. But it's very early going, so we'll have to watch it and see what happens. S&P opened down about 15 or so. And we're just keeping an eye on things, but it's the debate over the debt ceiling, obviously, is the big driver right now. The Senate stripped out the Obamacare stuff from the bill the House sent to them, sent it back, and instead of just voting on that, the House basically came up with another bill that delays the components of Obamacare for a year, and added some other things, and is now sending that. They're going to send that back to the Senate for debate. So that there's definitely going to be a delay, which most likely is going to cause some kind of government shutdown. The real question is how many days, weeks, months, whatever will it take to get this resolved. Stock market doesn't like uncertainty, so we're definitely seeing some downside. And as I wrote about in Newshawk, if you want to catch my article that was published today, and also in some other blog post at craigdallen.com, delays, the estimate, depending on the length of time the delay takes, the estimates are that we could lose as much as 1.4% in fourth quarter GDP growth. So we had 2.5% annualized growth in the second quarter. So if you look at that during the fourth quarter, that'd bring it down to say 1.1. If we get a bump for Christmas or holiday sales, it could be a little better than that, but it depends on the time, the length of the delay. If it goes on for an extended period, it's probably going to hurt things a lot more, and it's going to hurt holiday spending because we're getting into that season. We're getting fairly close, and if people are uncertain about the economy and the government, and government employees are on furlough, et cetera, then that's going to affect spending for the holidays, which is the biggest period of the year for retail sales. So it's definitely important. We'll see how things go, but at this point it seems like people on each side of the issue have their foot down and they're pretty firm about it. So anyway, September so far, today's last day. It's been a good month for stock performance, especially when you consider the historical context that September is typically the worst month. But October's not a great month either, and we have a lot of things, a lot of headwinds, a lot of potential for a serious correction. So far, the selling, when we've seen it, it's been very orderly. I've talked about that a lot before. We haven't had a big, 3 to 5% down day where stocks have just gotten crushed. So it really hasn't been enough to scare people. It's been very orderly, and as long as we have those kind of downward moves, we're probably going to see money coming in where investors think that it's a buying opportunity when they see things down a little bit. So we really need that big shock on the downside to kind of kick off a correction if we're going to have a reasonably sized correction. So that's what I continue to wait for. Still holding a lot of cash, and we're going to just kind of wait and see what happens, and see what happens with the debt ceiling and with tapering.